I think, and this is again sounds so cocky or whatever, the so big-headed, but I think this is amongst the best clubs in the world. But there's a sort of a caveat to that statement, and that is from a technical standpoint, very boring to most people, but to me, important fact, right? There's two chairs here. So these two chairs, you can see there's a slight difference. These are the ones that I ordered and specified the size of these chairs. You can see the back is a fair bit lower. There's a slight difference, not a lot, but a tiny little bit lower there, right? And a lower chair with a lower back looks a lot cooler and a bit more clubby than a high back chair, which looks more like a function centre. You know, when you go into a hotel and they've got a function on, I just don't like the look of them. That's why I specified to the guy, I want them ones. But in fairness, he swapped them for me, but he done the right thing. He put the right ones, took them other ones away, and now we lost. And I'm going on about these chairs, but anyway, 10 didn't arrive. We were 10 short, so we had to then deliver 10 of the wrong ones. So we got 10 of the wrong ones until then 10 of the right ones arrived. But anyway, that's the saga of the chair. Obviously, the story that's extremely interesting. This isn't the first lot of tables. I made them all, and the first lot of tables I made cost a fortune, and they were all too big. And the first lot of furniture I made, I had organised and delivered, was all too big. It was ridiculous. I had no money. I spent $25,000–$30,000 on the wrong tables. So what we found was, after a process of elimination, that for us the perfect table is this size. 45 centimetres is what I've found is the optimum, just the right amount. Some of them are a little smaller. There's one or two really small ones around. I'm swapping them out as I go. I've not just realised that 45 centimetre was the right size, I had them too small, too big. In the end, it's like Goldilocks. We found what we thought was, in my mind, the right size table, right? So it's just the right height. You don't want it down there, you're knocking your knees on it. This is the perfect height table as far as I'm concerned. It's made it locally in Australia. That's real good steel, that is. It's really beautiful, solid. That table would hold a tank up, I can tell you right now. That will last for 1,000,000 years, guaranteed, right? I like round tables. It just reminds me of a club, you know, a cabaret feeling. A square table reminds me of a restaurant. So I just think everyone likes a little table to sit there, put their drink on, their pizza on, or their chips. People aren't having a full-course meal. They're just sitting here with a couple of beers or a bottle of wine, and that's it. So there's just enough room, and we make sure the staff come through a lot and clear the tables away. That's it. That one's slightly bigger. So the table for two, the slightly bigger one, that's normally a table for three, right? It makes no difference. You can put 2 or 3 on it, but just we mentioned that. I've looked at what I thought were the best clubs in the world. I went to London and to New York. These are the things that make, in my opinion, that make a good club. The walls are acoustically great for comedy. We've got some acoustic panels on the wall, but we've also got like a carpet on some of the walls. The carpet's on the floor. We've got soft chairs, upholstered chairs, not hard wooden chairs. Everything makes a difference when it comes to the acoustics of a venue. Our lighting, I don't think, well, if there is a club that's got more lights, I'm talking small clubs here, I'm not talking 500 seats. If you've got a better system or a better sound or a better lighting system than me, caps off to you, and I'll acknowledge that. But I don't think anyone has. The sound, I asked, what is the best possible sound for this space? I just want the best microphone money can buy. So we've got Earthworks, we've got Neumann, and we've got Sennheiser and Shure. So we've got the best of all those microphones at our disposal. The staff are good. I know it sounds stupid, but you want happy sort of staff. You want the staff to sort of be pleased to be here, you know, not dragging their feet. I say to people, you know, regularly, they ask if I can do an event like a hen's party or a bucks night, and I normally say no, that you cannot talk. It's not a social event. It's not about some hen with a massive, you know, balloon shaped like a dick or something hanging around and being fussed about. It's all attention's got to go on there, so we don't want any distractions. We don't want balloons sitting in the air. We don't want ridiculous, you know, headpieces and all that. It's just not what we want. Notice this raised area. The best club in my mind, when you go to places like the Comedy Store in London, you don't want to have this look of a function centre, all one level tables and chairs, all the same size, all the same height, everything looking the same. You want a little bit of level change. This idea is that you're building this arena really, so everything is all about worshipping that stage. You know, this is the person on stage with a microphone, everyone's listening and watching that person. There's no other reason you should be focusing on anything in this venue other than that stage. We've got a 3/4 height stall, which is this sort here. So look at the difference between the two. And the table's quite different as well, you know, so different heights. These are sort of middle ground. These are the Goldilocks tables. Those are, I just think they're nice tables to have around the edges, these big stalls, tables around the edges. I personally love them. Our booths, we've only got 2. It can seat 5 people. So 5 people and 2 pizzas and 2 bottles of wine or 8 drinks. That's the booth package. I can't remember if they have an ice cream or not each. I just forgot now. But the booth package comes to $500-600. So often there'll just be 2 people in here. They're just happy to pay all that money, but they just want all that elbow room, which is, I can understand it. I'm a bit like that myself. I don't want to be rubbing shoulders with strangers. The booths are lovely and comfortable, and you're right up high here. The venue's thought out in such a way that these people, you don't really want to be looking straight at someone's head there, you know, you want to see the stage, so that's why it's all these different levels are important. Those 2 raised areas, I think, I really love those areas. Also, another thing that makes a club good, I think, is that if it's too big, certain distance away from the stage, where you just lose that intimacy that is all important. But the best seats, I think, are about 3 or 4 rows back. That, to me, you're not going to get talked to, but you're so close that you can see everything, you know, the facial expressions. I remember Jim Jeffries come in one night. He was only meant to do 5 minutes on a Wednesday night. It was a free, I never do comedy for free, but on this one occasion, maybe I was desperate to get someone in. So he was doing this free night. Reasonably okay crowd-wise. Then word got out Jim Jeffries was there, I think within about 10 minutes. We had to, we just jammed in. It was mental. And then instead of Jim jumping up and doing 5 minutes, he'd done like an hour. You know, it was one of those experiences you go, for fuck, that's just next level. You just dream of that. Jim Jeffries was at the arena or some big, massive venue. Come up from there where he's 80 meters away and you're paying $100 odd for a ticket. And Jim's like a little stamp, or if you're worse still, you've got a bloody big screen, which I hate, you know, that's him on a screen. That is everything I don't like about a stand-up comedy. You know, to see someone that good, but you're 80 meters away and you're watching them on a screen, you might as well watch it at home, mightn't you, for the sake of it. These seats here, literally these seats here, this is what we sell as the VIP area. I've sat in every chair in this venue, looking at the show, watching things, and in my opinion, this seat, this table, and this table are literally the best seats in the venue. You just sit here like that. I remember for the first time, I'd had the venue about a year, and I'd never sat and watched a show. It's crazy. I was so too busy. And one day I thought, no, I'm just going to do it. So I said to Jane, let's have a sit down and just see what it feels like from a customer perspective. And my God, this is it. You are 5 rows back. So you're far enough back, you're not going to get, no one's going to bother you. The comedians can't see you from this distance because everything looks dark from their perspective except the very front row. With a little bit more elbow room than every other table here, and these seats are just fantastic. So we've got technically a fantastic club, but what we'll never have, those stories of, someone was saying the other day they went to the Comedy Cellar and on that lineup that night, Chris Rock, Amy Schumer and Jerry Seinfeld all going on. Now, that ain't happening, you know, like, so no, I can't say I'm the best club in the world, because how are you ever going to have that experience? People will talk about that for the rest of their life, wouldn't they? If you was in that audience that night and saw that lineup. One night here in particular, we did have our version of that, an Australian version, where we had Mickey D was running his late show here, and we had Tom Gleeson, Arj Barker, Peter Hellier, Russell Peters turned up, just randomly in the alleyway and said, could he jump up for 10 minutes? Dave Hughes, there's others, I can't even think. That was probably the highlight of the club, was those names dropping in. The show went, we only was licensed to midnight and it was about 12:30. And remember thinking, we're actually going to have to say to someone like Dave Hughes, can you sort of wrap up? You know, you'd wait a lifetime for them to turn up, and then you go to say, we've got to get you out, get off the stage, you know. But that was that was 5 6 years ago, but that was a highlight for us anyway. These are also, I mean, I could go through in order of what I think are the best seats in the building. I won't go through every seat. Brilliant, brilliant, really good, really good, really good. The second row is also fantastic, really good. After about, down on the lower end, after the third row, really good, really good. Third row is also fantastic, really good.